Good morning. Happy Thursday morning. It's 9 a.m. My name is Colleen Light, and I come to you from a small town in Southwest Washington. Anyway, welcome to my Thursday live video. And this is the card we're going to make. It's kind of a fun fold, but not really. We're going to be using the Color and Contour stamp set and the coordinating dies. So let me get the camera flipped around. I just always like to come on and say hello. Did I mention I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator? Oh my gosh. You know, you get in these routines and sometimes you forget what you say. Anyway, let's get to crafting. I'm really happy you could join me today. And it may take me just a second to get things in camera here. I don't know what happened this morning. It just seemed to get away from me again. So anyway, I hope you all are well. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I have been incessantly complaining about the weather here in Southwest Washington. It has been something else, let me tell you. We've had every weather system. So I'm looking forward to hopefully spring being right around that corner. And once the spring comes and I am out in my gardens again and looking at my flowers and kind of playing around out there, I will not give you a daily weather report anymore. Anyway, I'm just trying to get this even here. I'm going to try and adjust it on camera here. I think that maybe looks okay. I think it looks as okay as it's going to get. So anyway, let me show you here. This is this month's host code. If you place an order, I really appreciate it. I think I may bring you down just a hair here. There we go. Okay, so this is the fun card we're going to be making today. How cute is this? Look, it's kind of a fun fold, but it uses that scalloped edge die, which I'm super excited to show you. I will get out our stamp set. Sorry, I need to just do a little bit more. And let's see. Hopefully you're not blurry. Hopefully we're in screen now. My goodness, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. First off, let me show you what I'm working with today. I am working with the Color and Contour stamp set. And this actually comes with coordinating dies, which I absolutely love, love, love. And I will show you those as we get going. You can find this, actually, they're in our annual catalog on page 97. And the coordinating dies, the scallop contour dies, those are on page 174. So let's have some fun. We're going to make this card start to finish together. Normally, I don't do that. Normally, as you know, I have things pre-done and whatnot. But honestly, I kind of feel like it's more fun to craft with you instead of have everything all done. You'll have to let me know what you prefer. But it's kind of where I'm at right now is I'm finding myself really enjoying crafting with you more than I am I feel like I race through it otherwise. So we're going to get started here with a piece of thick basic white. If you don't have thick basic white cardstock, go ahead on your next order and add that in. White card bases are classic. You can dress them up with designer series paper, little bits that you might have left. And, you know, I just really, really like them, actually, the white card bases. So we're going to just right down the middle, 4 1/4. It doesn't really get any easier than that. 4 1/4. I'm going to move this piece off to the side here. So this will give us 2 card bases, which is good. And then we're going to score at 5 1/2. That is actually our card base. Now, I'm going to swap up the colors here in our DSP. We're going to go ahead and cut this out. Can you believe this came from the Happy Forest Friends designer series paper? I was looking for something that would be kind of fun and match, and I thought, oh, you know, my order hasn't come yet, and I ordered more designer series paper, but then I went through my stash and realized I haven't really used this very much, and it's really such pretty paper, and you can tell I've got it all in a clump here, and I'm going to use this piece here. So when you're finding yourself running low on designer series paper, remember, Stampin' Up! It's always kind of that whimsical, fun side on one side, and then on the other side, it tends to be more of a classic pattern. Oh, good morning, Fran and Mary Ellen. Oh, chilly Montana. I think you guys are going to stay way chillier than we have. Hopefully, it's not going to snow at all today. My fingers are crossed as I say that. Anyway, we're going to cut this piece here at 4 1/4 by 2 inches. So let's just come 2 inches down this way. And, oh, maybe I need to move and screen a little bit better. And then 4 1/4. And I'm going to go just a smidge over because I want to make sure it fits on that card base appropriately. I can always cut more paper off. It's hard to add paper on. So, because this is going to be a layer down here. Okay, let's go ahead and do our stamping. And then we're going to do some die cutting. So let me know really what you prefer. Do you like everything pre-done before we pop on when we're doing our tutorials? Or do you prefer to kind of go through the process more of a real time? Let me know. So anyway, let me get my Stampin' Pierce mat. You know, I love to stamp on that. And let me grab my Memento ink and some stamps. So these stamps, I think, are so classic and pretty from this particular set. I absolutely love them. And you know, I did what I always do. I set them off to the side. So the Color and Contour, it's 2-step stamping, which I think is so much fun. It's got great sentiments. You can see I got a little glue here. I set a piece of paper on there earlier with some glue on it. You're absolutely amazing. Here for you now. So very happy for you, and thank you for everything. We're going to be using this stamp, and the thank you for everything. Let's start with our long stamp this time. And I have a piece of scratch paper out. So the reason I have the Stampin' Pierce mat underneath here is because it's a little bit of cushion, and since I'm using photopolymer, it just works better to have a little bit of cushion. It'll take the image better. Okay, so we're going to tap, tap, tap here on our stamp. I like to go this way. I like to apply the ink to the stamp when it's a larger stamp. You can tell this is a scrap I made a mistake on earlier, so we're going to go ahead and use this. And I'm just going to press, and I'm going to hold it for a second. Just a second, because it's Memento, and I should have grabbed the Stamparatus, and I didn't. But yeah, that's perfect. Okay, let me grab my chamois and wipe this, clean this stamp real quick, and then we're going to go on to the next step. So for those of you in the Southwest Washington area, I am starting classes again. I'm so excited. Classes again in May. We just have, you know, honestly, we just have so much going on. I don't have time before May to do it. But I am so excited because I was doing classes when I lived in Arizona for a little bit. Now, and I have to say, I am just so excited at the thought of restarting those classes. And I'll be doing that starting in May. So if you want an invitation to my classes, just be sure to send me an email. So I'm going to line this stamp up at the little bud here. That's the easiest way for me to do it. And I'm just going to turn it a little bit to fit on those stamps. This is not a stamp that fits exactly perfectly. Anyway, if you'd like an invite to my classes starting in May, just send me a message and I'm happy to do it. Calypso Coral is a coordinating color, so that's what I'm going to use. On this card, I stamped off the Calypso Coral, but I think I want it a little darker since I'm changing my designer series paper, so I'm not going to stamp off this time. And hopefully I won't get my hair under the camera. All right, let's try this again. I may pull this a little closer to me. Let me see. And okay, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed, hold my breath for a minute. And let's go ahead and pop that down. Oh, yep, perfect. So that always makes me happy when it works out well. Let's, I like to do my stamping, and then we are going to do our die cuts. Anyway, so I have to ask you, have you heard about the color refresh coming from Stampin' Up? That's pretty exciting. But I'm really hoping that there are some colors that won't be leaving us. You know, we all have our favorites and there are go-to colors. This is just my light old olive, and I am going to just bring this in here and use my blends just to color in these leaves a little bit. Nothing fancy, just a little bit more color. And I think that should do it there. Like I said, not a whole lot, just enough, right? Okay, so that was easy. And now let's do a little bit of die cutting, okay? And I think I'm going to tape this piece down just a little bit more so it doesn't move all over the place. Okay, I'm gonna get my big die cutting machine in because I need it for this one particular die. I'm gonna show you how I line this up. We're gonna start with our card base. And I'm going to take our card base here, and I have a ruler, and I have our scalloped die that comes in the scallop contour dies. I've shown these a bunch. I love to use these as frames. Stay to the end. I have a sample where I made a card using the frames, and I have a sample of those adorable Easter baskets I made earlier in the week. I'm going to take just a Post-it note, one of these sticky things here. I'm going to put it there. I have my ruler because I want to make sure my base is even. I'm also going to take care that I line up my die so it kind of has the curve at the end and lines up well and looks even. And I want this about 1 inch up. So I am not normally a very fussy crafter, as you know. I tend to do very easy cards. They are my favorite. I don't like to overthink things and overcomplicate things. But since this scalloped edge is really the focal point of this card, I want to have it as even as I can. So I'm just taking the time to make sure I have it 1 inch. And of course, when I did it, when I was here by myself, it was so easy, so easy. And now, of course, now that I'm here with you, it's a little bit more complicated, but I think I've got it. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to line this up here. And I am using the big die cutting machine because this is a long die, okay? And I'm just gonna pop that right back out. And you can see how well that turned out because I tried to line it up so it looked a little bit more even on either side here. So I like that. I do like that. And I hope you're not too low. You know, I'm always, oops, sorry, I moved that just a little bit. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. All right, so I'm gonna bring in the mini die cutting machine now. You could use the big one for our next step. I'm just gonna bring in the mini because it doesn't take as much room up while we're working together. And I am going to grab this die. So this one fits on our image that we just cut. So it lines up, or not we just cut, that we just stamped, like that. So let's go ahead and get this going. You know, I do think I have a little bit too much here. You could actually, I think I have too much paper for the mini. Let me just say that a little bit better. you could actually just stamp this on your image or on your card. My goodness, I have totally lost my train of thought. You could stamp this on your card base. I was going to pop it up on dimensionals and then at the last minute decided I didn't want to. So I'm going to go ahead and just stay with die cutting it. I like how even though it's not popped up on dimensionals, it still has a little bit extra. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut it again. And then we're gonna finish. This card goes so quick. I think this card has a lot of wow for really having not a lot of work in it. Kind of like those Easter baskets I made in my YouTube live the other day. I thought those sure turned out cute and they're so easy. Okay, so let's get this going. And I think we have all of our parts and pieces cut now. How easy is that? And look at how pretty that turns out. Doesn't that just turn out really neat? I really like that quite a bit. So let me know, I was going to ask you, let me know your favorite color that you want to stay and your least favorite color that you may be happy to see go. I know what my least favorite color is, and I haven't really said it out loud, so I don't know if I want to now. I think my favorite color, which was an in color, is Fresh Freesia, and we already know that's leaving. So I think that was my favorite. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more stamping now. So I'm going to stick with Fresh Freesia, even though it was an in color, and even though I knew it had a limited lifespan, I'm still really upset that it's leaving. I love that purpley color so much. Okay, so thank you for everything. So that is hard for me to see that one go. All right, I thought I had that one out. Maybe I left it on a, we may just switch gears here and go with So Happy For You. I think I left that one out on a, oh, no, here it is. Thank you for everything. I thought, oh no, did I leave that one out? So here we go. Let me just go ahead and line that up. Perfect. And I know that I always make my sample card, so I know I want it right down there. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to stick with the Tuxedo Black ink. And again, just tap, tap, tap. I'm going to do a little practice here. Let's see how, oh my gosh, that did not stamp well. Let me go ahead and clean that off. I don't know what that is there. It must have a fuzzy on it or something. This is why I always do my practice stamp. See, it actually, maybe that worked out well. Maybe it was a learning opportunity for us all. Let me see if this one does better. Still a little something there. I wonder if I set it on top of something that was kind of fuzzy. Oh, you know what? I know what it was. I used a brand new baby wipe on this while I was working earlier because I was in a hurry and not my chamois, and I bet it picked up some lint from the baby wipe. Much better. Okay. So let's go ahead and just take this, and I'm going to stamp it down there now. Yep. That's why I love the chamois and not the baby wipes, because it doesn't leave the lint particles behind. This is the chamois. If you haven't seen it, you just wet this. If it dries out, you just wet it. It's going to stain, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so now I want to take my little, I want to take these little speckled right here. And again, I'm going to stick with coordinating colors. And on the back of your designer series paper, it always lists the coordinating colors. So I'm going to use the So Saffron. I'm kind of matchy-matchy, so I'm using the So Saffron. I'm going to just pop this stamp right there. And I'm going to add a little bit of this speckled. I'm going to check this one too, because I know I was in a hurry earlier and I was using those baby wipes. Okay. And I am going to just kind of eyeball it. I don't really have a solid plan here. And then I'm going to bring this one around like that. Pretty. So there we go. Now I'm going to bring in our flower. Again, I was going to pop this up on dimensionals, but you know, I've kind of changed my mind and I'm just gonna glue it down. First off, I really, really, really like easy to mail cards. I've said it probably a million times and may actually say it a million more. I like things to be easy to mail. I mail most of my cards. They're not always in gifts. So for me, the easier it is to mail, the better it is for me. And I'm going to try and use a light hand because I don't want this coming out the sides on my white card base. So I'm just going to use a light hand, put a little bit of glue. We don't need a bunch here. Take a little bit from up here. There we go. A little bit more. Gosh, you know, just when you get down in these fine areas, you just don't want much, do you? Okay, I'm going to take this. I am going to angle it in a way that I think looks good, which I think is right there, and bring that down by the everything. Okay, let's go ahead and pop our designer series paper right down here. So this is what I would say. This card does not, it's going to stand, but it would stand like that. So it doesn't stand up. If you want your card level so it stands, I would glue this part back here, but I don't want the mushrooms to show. So if you wanted the other side of your designer series paper to show, go ahead and glue this piece here, and then your card would stand up the way it's, you know, it normally would. But I don't want that part to show. So I am actually going to glue my designer series paper here because for me, the scalloped edge really is the star of the show. And I'm okay with this card not standing up perfectly. So that's what I'm going to do. But again, I think you should always just kind of think, if you really like the back side of your designer series paper, certainly you could do that. So your card stands upright. Okay, so our edges are even here. So we can give that a solid press. I'm gonna add a little bit of twine, and you know, I love this Baker's Twine Essential Pack. It is one of my favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a little bow. Give myself a little extra tail there. So I think color refreshes, back to the color refresh, I think they're kind of scary in a sense because it seems like somebody always loses something they love, but I think it's kind of fun in another way because it stays on trend, and I'm really excited to see what Stampin' Up! Comes up with. And it's a good excuse to buy more ink pads, and I'm always down for that. Okay, there's my bow. Let me get my ribbon scissors and give that a little snip. And we may end up trimming this a little bit more. I'm going to grab my mini glue dots that I had out here somewhere. And let's roll one of these up. And then we can set our bow down, and then we'll put some gems on and these cards will be done, and then I'll show you the other projects I've made. So I'm going to pop this. I think I want this bow right there. And let's pop our little twine right there. Also, I will be sending out my catalogs. The catalog selector is through the end of March. Now, I will be going to Arizona for a little bit, the end of March. I'm going to may submit mine earlier. At least I'll have it ready to go, so it's just a click of the button. So if you are wanting a catalog, send me a message, leave a comment, and you can just private message me your address. If not, and if you've placed an order in the last 6 months, you'll just automatically get one. Okay, I'm using my old standard go-to here, the basic rhinestones. I thought they fit because I have the speckled color here. I thought these basic rhinestones would work the best. I'm gonna pop one right down there. And I'm going to bring this one right here. So tell me, what do you think about this very basic yet kind of fun card? I thought it was kind of fun. You know, I look at Pinterest and I look through the catalog and I look everywhere and kind of get inspiration from everybody. And I just thought this one was super fun. Oh, let's twist this one down here. And which one do you like better? Do you like the one with like this little, I think these are supposed to be like duck feet or something, but they look like hearts to me, so I thought it was fine. And then we have like the swirly grass. I think it's supposed to be like the inside of a log because it's from that Forest Friends. Let me show you my other projects I made. This is one I made using the Beautifully Happy stamp set, but I used the Scalloped Contours dies. And this card really showcases it. And literally, I just stamped a sentiment and cut out around it. So didn't even use any dies for that. But so this is an example of how wonderful the backgrounds are and how beautiful these scallop contours actually frame your project. So that's that. And here's the Easter baskets I made this week. This one uses that glimmer paper, the in color glimmer paper. I don't know. I'm going to try and get a light on it so you can, this maybe make me actually worse, but you can really see the sparkle. And what I like the most about it is it has the white inside. This basket was my YouTube live I did on Monday. And so all the instructions, follow the video. I already have it blogged. You can fit a gift card in here. These are super cute. This is the one using the country gingham, and it has the, on the outside, it has that sweet sorbet color, and the inside is that mint macaron. So these are super cute. So these are the projects I have made this week so far using this Color and Contour stamp set and the scallop contour dies. So you can find all of this in the annual catalog. I sure hope I was in screen most of the time. It's not pushed back as far as it normally is. Anyway, have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I always appreciate you coming to spend some time with me on Thursday mornings and Monday afternoons. Have a wonderful weekend.